Okay, so for sure you have at least one or two law of sines problems, and law of cosines. Okay, and remember I gave you 4 cases. Case 1, case 2 was for law of sines. Case 3 and 4 was law of cosines. You'll have an area of a triangle problem. And just one, probably one at most. I don't think I'll have more than that for area. Let me look at the rest of chapter 8. You'll have find a vector given 2 points. So remember how you subtract final minus initial point and you get the vector. Find magnitude and direction of a vector. Find the dot product of a vector. 1 second, let me let you. Nice. 1 second. Okay. Turn my phone off here. I'm gonna put 6 twice. Sorry about that. Plot a complex number for sure. You look at the homework. I think that might be for most of it. Add, subtract, multiply complex numbers. I might have 1 or 2 of those because those are really easy. I feel like those are free points. I think that's really all there would be on this exam. Okay. So since I don't have a review, when you look at these topics, what do you guys think are something you need to go over or you feel are difficult? Oops. Stupid computer. Okay, let's do magnitude and direction problem. Let me go pick one out of the homework. Here, review topics. So what I'm going to do is look for problems that have these type of things on them. Okay. I'm not going to surprise you. Now let's see here. You guys cool on this page? Okay. First example, find the magnitude and direction of this vector. Let me, guess I could make one up, but let me see if I can find one from your homework. 3, 7. That looks fine to me. So the formula for magnitude. So if we call this V, put a little hat on it, the magnitude of V is going to be the square root of 3 squared plus -7 squared. So all you got to do is take the components. And if it was written this way, 3i minus 7j, you just take the numbers, square them, and add them together. Nothing crazy, nothing weird. What's 9 plus 49?
58.
Does that reduce inside the radical? Well, the way you check, right, is to divide it by 4. For 1 second. All right, so the way you check is to divide by squared numbers. So 58 divided by 4, does that go in evenly? No. 58 divided by 9? No. 58 divided by 16? No. 58 divided by... Looks like it's not going to happen. So yeah, I think that's fine. Let's just stop there. So that's the magnitude. Now the direction, what you do is you use this formula, tangent inverse of the y value over the x value. So on your calculator, let me pull mine out. Excuse me. It's about 66, negative 66. If you add 360, you get the positive angle, which is 293 point, we'll say 2. So add 360 in order to get the positive angle, which is 293 point, sorry, 0.2. So this is the direction of the vector v. So all you got to do is put into an inverse tan.
Okay, I have a stupid question.
Yeah, what's up?
Was the original vector 3 -7 or 3 7?
It should have been a negative, but let me double check. Oh, actually, it was actually positive. I tricked myself, my own writing. The comma, not a negative. So this would be a plus, which changes this answer right here. So if it is a positive, then we'll redo this step here for fun. It turns out to be 66.8 positive, which is cool. Yeah, Jess, we should keep it in the positive. But it doesn't necessarily, it's not a huge deal. Because it's going to be in the same quadrant no matter what. But positive is better. All right. Any questions on magnitude or direction? This is the direction, and this is the magnitude. Okay. Let's go back to the topics. Any other topics that you feel like you should review a little bit, or you have no idea what they are?
So there's not going to be any projections, right?
Nah, I don't think I'm going to do that. No.
Thank God, that looked really complicated.
It's not too bad, but it does look weird. I agree. I feel like this test would be easier than the last one for sure. Because it's only a few sections, and I think the material is a little straightforward, but if you disagree, let me know. Is there anything bugging you or you're concerned about?
When doing the dot,
Mhm.
on the 8.4, and it's a u, like u times u. Okay, so from if u is like 6,
Yeah.
and u is the magnitude squared. So does that mean, so you have 6 times 6 plus 6 times 6 is 36 plus 36. And
That's right.
does the answer have to be, obviously it's not 7, which is what I have written down, but something happened here. But do you have to square root the answer to that?
Well, the dot product will be 72. The magnitude, you would square root that, yeah. Because it would end up being the same thing in that case. 72, square root 72 versus just a 72.
Okay.
All right, let's do an area of a triangle. Sounds good. So for area of a triangle, you just need to have all of the 3 sides, and then we use the heroes formula. So let's do one. Find the area of the triangle given A equal to 4, B equal to 16, and C equal to 17. So the area formula, heroes formula, is this guy. S times S minus A times S minus B and S minus C, where S is equal to the sum of all the sides divided by 2. All right, so first find S. Can't do anything without S. So 1/2 times 4 plus 16 plus 17. That'll be 1/2 times 20, 37, right? Which is what? What is half of 37? It's a decimal, right? We'll put it over here, I guess. Okay, so now plug it in. So square root of 18.5 times 18.5 minus 4, 18.5 minus 16, 18.5 minus 17. Those are the 3 pieces. So that'll be something. I don't know what the heck that is, but let's plug it in here. 18.5 times 18. Biscuits. 0.5 minus 4. 18.5 minus 16. 18.5 minus 17. So the area is 31.72 units. Squared units. Any questions on the area? So if you're missing a side, just find it and use this formula. That's all you got to do.
Thank you.
Any other topics that you feel you have forgotten? I know most of them we just talked about, but if there's anything you feel like you want to talk about, let me know.
And add, subtract, multiply. That's just the like u times b and u times u and all that stuff.
No, it's actually this kind of stuff. Like if you have, let's say you have 1.1 minus 2i plus 1 plus 3i, you just, right, you add them up to 1 plus 1, negative 2 plus 3. And that would be addition.
Oh.
And then subtraction, well, you would subtract, and etc. Just know that when you square an I, right, that becomes -1. I cubed would be -i. I to the 4th would be a 1. And then it repeats itself forever. The only reason I bring that up is because if you were to multiply something like this, 1 minus 2i times 1 plus 3i, let's make this example 4, I guess. This would be 1 times 1, 1 times 3, -2 times that, -2 times that. This is where it changes. 2 times 3 is -6, but I times I is I squared. So this is no big deal, right? 1, 3 minus 2 is 1i, right? This guy, though, becomes a -1. So 1 plus I, negative plus 6. So you end up getting 7 plus I. Oops, didn't have the screen. So when you multiply, that's the only thing you got to be careful. I squared shifts to a -1. That's the definition of imaginary numbers. When you square them, you get this. Everything else is just basic FOIL like you've done before many times, right? Just multiply it out. Just be careful with this. The add and subtract, nothing really changes.
Oh, okay, I get it. Thank you. I'm glad I asked though.
Yeah, I'm glad you did too, because I don't think we didn't get to talk about the I-squared. I just realized. But if you keep going, it cycles forever. The I is. And it comes from
Is there a
this.
difference between the so the I squared is -1
Mhm.
and I cubed is just -I?
Yeah. Because you'd have two i's would be -1, and then you have a third I, which is -I. Right? You see what I mean, or no?
Yeah, I wrote it down wrong. Sloppy handwriting.
So I-squared and I-squared would be two -1s, which would be positive. So 1 through 4. So obviously, right? I to the first is just I. But it cycles from 1 through 4 and then starts over. The next one will be I on the 5th power. Next one would be -1, and it just keeps going for eternity. But that's the same pattern. You guys have any other topics you feel like are bugging you? Now just make sure you go over a couple, go back to the old homework. I think you'll be fine if you just go over the law of sine section, just do a couple problems in there, do a couple in law of cosines, and just make sure you do a few in the vector section. If you haven't started yet, just go over there and start it, just so you know what it looks like. I think that should be sufficient.
Will we be decomposing anything?
No decompositions, no projections, just some basic stuff. Trying to be nice about this test. This is your chance to ace it and drop the last one, right?
Yes, much appreciated.
And then the last one was a little harder. All right, guys, if you have no questions, you're welcome to head out, I suppose. If you find some things you're struggling with, just send me an email or come see me during office hours. No big deal. But we're pretty much out of sections. I don't think we're gonna cover anything new material anymore. We'll probably start reviewing after Thanksgiving for the final, okay? So let me think here. Look at the calendar.